Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Neenah from Crescent Creation. Today's video is part of my One Design Different Size Cards series. In here, I share how to put together a design in 2 or more different size cards. And today's design is a very versatile one. It can be created in a lot of different ways and for any occasion. You can see I have a slimline and A2 size card that I have created in Halloween theme. So let's get started. I'll start with creating the backgrounds and then we'll turn into cards later on. To create my stripe pattern, I'm using Pinkfresh Studios Pop Out Diagonal Stripe stamp. The stamp set comes packed on a clear sheet and I have that sheet along with the stamp taped on my MISTI door. And here I have an A2 size card panel with some tape on the back. I have lined up the cardstock with the stamp set, and the tape behind the cardstock will hold it in place while I do my stamping. I'm gonna use 2 ink pads from Gina Designs to create my stripe background here, the names of which will be listed in the screen, and I'm gonna alternate the colors between the stripes. So here I'm removing every other stripe from the stamp set. So each of the stripe from the stamp set can be pulled out. So they can be used together or separately depending on the design you are going for. Now that I have removed every alternate stripe, I'll go ahead and ink up the rest of the stripes using my ink pad, and I'm gonna stamp it and re-stamp it until I get a good impression. That's why I'm using my MISTI tool here. Since it's a big stamp set, sometimes getting a good impression can be hard. You might miss some places. With a stamping tool, you do not have to think about repositioning your stamp to get a good impression. So here I just cleaned my stamp using my stamp chamois, and now I'm putting back the rest of the stripes that I took out earlier, making sure I position them carefully in place, and I'll remove the stripes that we already stamped so that we can move to the next color. And here I'm gonna repeat the same steps. I'm gonna ink up the stamp set using my ink pad and stamp it couple of times until I get a crisp image. So this is how my background looks. You can create so many different designs using this one stamp set. It is such a versatile stamp set. Here I'm just showing you how to clean it and assemble the stamp set to store it once you're done. Now to create the same stripe pattern on a slimline card, I'm using the longest stripe from the stamp set here. For me, this was the easiest way to create the stripe pattern on a slimline panel. And also I wanted to show you that you can use the stamp set with your acrylic blocks if you wanted to. Here again, I'm creating a 2-colored stripe pattern, and instead of cleaning my one stripe every time to switch between colors, I brought in a second stripe to use it with the second color. Now I just have to ink up each stripe alternatively and stamp it to create my stripe pattern. And since I'm not using the whole stamp set here, I can stamp these stripes as far or near as I want them to be. So I stamped my stripes here just a little far away, keeping a little white space in between 2 colors. Also, I wasn't really worried about having equal gap between the 2 stripes. I was just having fun creating the stripe pattern, stamping one stripe after another, and I did not want to put measurement in that fun. That is no fun. And here I'm almost done with my stamping, and I love how this whole thing looks. I created the same orange-purple stripe background on an A2 size panel, similar to the slimline panel I just created. And now I'm gluing black stripes in between the 2 colored stripes to add more interest to my background. These are thin black stripes that I trimmed using my Guillotine trimmer from 80-pound black cardstock. Some of the stripes that I trimmed are a little thicker than the rest of them. I did not measure while trimming them. I prefer the random look more. It gives you some space for error. With everything measured, if you make a mistake, it will show immediately, especially with designs like this. But with this design, even if I glued a stripe a little crooked, it wouldn't show immediately. So here are a few panels I did off camera. I love how all these turned out. This will be my slimline panel for today's card. I'm showing that I messed up a little bit there. I dropped some water that reacted with the dye ink. I'm gonna die cut the panel later and it's not gonna show. Now for my next panel, I created a Christmas theme with red and green stripes and few heat embossed stripes with gold embossing powder. So you can create these patterns as you want. Today I just focused on the stripe background. You can even do checkered pattern. You can do rainbow stripes, you can do heat embossing, you can adhere strips of cardstock as I did for my purple and orange background. Your imagination is your limit here. As I said, it's a very versatile stamp set and you can do so many things with just one stamp set. Now let's create our cards. Off camera, I have adhered black strips to this slimline panel too. And now I'm using the smallest die from the scalloped card panels and banners die from Trinity stamps. Oh, that was a mouthful. And I'm die cutting my slimline panel with it. For my A2 size panel, I'm using the second largest die from Honey Bee Scallop A2 cuts die set. I'll run this through my die cutting machine to get these two beautiful scalloped panels. Now I'm adhering both these panels to black cardstock that is slightly bigger than these panels. I'm using liquid glue here. It just gives me a little wiggle room to place my panels until I'm happy with it. I'm gonna go ahead and glue both these panels to white card bases. My slimline card base measures 8.5 inches by 3.5 inches and my A2 size panel measures 4.25 by 5.5 inches. So my video title said that I have an announcement to make and it's time. So me and my friend, we have opened an Etsy store together. And we are selling embellishments, seed beads, sequins, rhinestones, everything you need to jazz up your cards or scrapbook pages or the perfect place to buy your shaker materials. And we do have an introduction discount going on currently in our store. Also, we did an intro hop for our store and all the participants in the hop are giving away 10% extra discount. So you will get a total of 19% discount when you use one of their coupons. All the details and links to the hop plus link to the Etsy store is in the description box below. Lastly, we do have a $25 giveaway for our Etsy store in that hop. So don't forget to visit the blog post, link in the description box below, to see how you can win that $25 to the Etsy store. Now that my card panels are ready, it's time to work on the sentiment. I'm using Honey Bee Happy Cuts die set and my Sizzix Sidekick to die cut the sentiment here. I'm die cutting the happy sentiment from white cardstock and fun foam twice. I have not taken out the happy fun foam die cut from the fun foam sheet yet and have applied glue, liquid glue to it, and I'm adhering my happy cardstock die cut to it. This is just an easy way to glue the fun foam and cardstock die cut together. But unlike me, you should wait for the glue to dry before pulling the die cut out. Here I was just in a hurry and you can see I had to go back and adhere both the cardstock and fun foam together because my glue was not dried yet. Now I'll glue the sentiment to my card front using some liquid glue. To finish off my sentiment Happy Halloween, I'm using this Simon Says Stamp sentiment strip from CZ Designs. Lastly, I added sequins from both the cards from our Halloween sequins mix pack. It comes with these orange and purple cup sequins along with bats and spiders and cats and ghosts and also couple of pumpkins. In the picture you can see I added couple more sequins to my cards. I added cats to my slimline card and the pumpkin to my A2 size card. To finish off, adding some shine to my happy sentiment using my Nuvo shimmer pen. I'm really happy how these two cards turned out. And here is an extra card I made using one of the stripe panel I showed earlier. To embellish this card, I used our Christmas star sequence mix and snowflake clay bits. So you saw how easy it is to create these backgrounds and convert them into cards. And if you have the perfect embellishments, you can create a lot of interest to these simple looking cards. Do check our shop. We love all your support. Here are a few more videos that you might like to watch. Thank you for visiting. Have a nice day.